Just before, while we take the time to get the slides, I just wanted to understand, there's a small group of people, but how many of you are from field of agriculture? I think everyone knows AI probably today, but how many of you have an agriculture background? So, what do you mean agriculture background? No agriculture. No agriculture. Agriculture, you're engaged in something. Yeah. Cool. That's great. I think most of us are. And I think agriculture is something that is, you know, we have it in our blood. Human beings, scientifically civilized after they became, from hunter-gatherer to growing food and, settled and formed the civilization. So agriculture is a deep-rooted, I think, historical subject, while AI is something that is looking into the future. So that is what fascinates me. That is what fascinates Mr. B. And today's topic, AI for agriculture, transforming market access. I think it's not just when a farmer is making the transaction. It's not just a financial transaction. It's a entire journey of resilience, of hope, and timing. So let's dive in. Uh, so yeah, so this is, meet Sunita, who is growing chilies in India. And this is a typical farmer profile. Sunita is probably has to deal with rising prices in the input, climate uncertainties, uh, losses because of new pest and disease, and also, market volatility. And through all that, she has to manage and think of it. It is important to get that user profile that the farmer is managing an asset and trying to make a living out of it. And there are too many uncertainties across the inputs, across the support, across the market when they want to sell the produces. And all these things they try to triage and make the living. And Sunita is not alone. This is what Digital Green's mission is, to serve, uh, 500 billion smallholder farmers globally who account for more than 70% of our food, 150 million smallholder farmers in India, and they need, and how can we create, technological solutions that can help them scale, while, also maintaining a standard of living. Distillery started 17 years back. This was, most of you may have known Digital Green, but just a brief history. We spun out of Microsoft Research. Rikin was the CEO and co-founder, was working in Microsoft Research. And through his work, he found out that, he sort of flipped the model of traditional extension. The extension system is a backbone on which Green Revolution, agriculture research and extension is an unsaid backbone, I would say, on which Green Revolution took place. Essentially, how to reach farmers and tell them about new varieties and so on. And it is a forever changing subject. And one of the things that happened in 2008 was, we found that making videos of the farmers on the ground and helping them show case in a focus group through extension network led to a much higher impact and adoption of practice. And when we are talking about adoption of practice, that's an important impact. That led to a 40% increase in advisory, 60% climate smart practice. Through our RCTs, we found that around 10x reduction in cost of adoption of practice. And it led to around 24%, up to a 24% release in the income and yield. As we have matured, we have done multiple kind of, technological solutions, and we started looking at the FPO, the Farmer Producer Organization, and landscape. FPOs have been around for quite some time. They're well supported by government, and there's a strong need. And one of the primary thought process behind FPO is that a collective of farmers can be much more resilient than an individual farmer. So FPOs becoming, there's a target of government to reach 10,000 FPOs. There are around 43,900 FPOs that are there registered as of March 2025. Very less have been able to get formal loans from bank. Uh, the strength of the FPO is how many farmers are associated. A huge percentage, a very high share is less than 500 share over farmers. And they are also still unable to link to uh, service providers. So the problems that exist in the FPO landscape, we need to have, promote federation and aggregation, uh, create infrastructure and technology, uh, try to provide market linkage and compliance support, and build capacity for pre-governance. This will be his journey in FPO started in 2019. We launched very basic data visibility kind of, foundation kind of experiments that we did, where we were able to get details about, the farmer's soil or other aspects and link to 2021, we were able to work with the FPOs and help them, you know, provide that using that data systems, what kind of transactions and business value that they can do. So essentially, what is the produce that group of farmers have and what they can commit to in selling to the FPO or can buy. 2021 and with the support of Walmart Foundation, we were able to scale to 35 SPCs, worked with more than 2,000 plus extension workers. These are the field staff that are working with the FPOs. And that could, and we identified what of all sorts of, technology and data gaps that exist. A year later, we were able to work with these FPCs and we were able to realize around 65% increase in the revenue with these handful of FPOs that we work with. Now we have, expanded and are working with more than 260 FPOs that are reaching around 160,000 farmers. And we have rolled out Farmer Chat and Farmer Chat partners, about which I will go in the next slides. That is essentially engaging or helping FPOs engage their member farmers. And one of the things that we realized over last 6 years, working in the FPO and the farmers, that FPOs need to understand their member farmers and their needs. And it is not just when we are looking at market access just through the selling of produce, it's not the complete story. It is also about getting, handholding a farmer through accessing the inputs from the market, to accessing financial support or government schemes, and also then accessing the market where they can sell the produce. The government schemes are there for farmers as well as the FPOs. Uh, a lot of these government schemes require that there is a good deal of share with the farmers who are engaging with the FPOs and doing the transactions. So enabling that engagement and transactions with the FPOs for their farmers was one of the cornerstone for the project. And there are essentially two parts that, the digital ecosystem that we built for FPOs. One is Farmer Chat. That is the AI powered or AI assistant for the farmers, where the farmers can basically go ask their question. And this is an extension of, or I would say extrapolation of the work that Digital Green has been doing, started with, which was strengthening the extension system. So the advisory that the farmers need on a day-to-day basis about, what to do if I have a pest, what to do if I have to buy a seed, what to do if I have to prepare my land, what is a new, biofertilizer or nano fertilizer that is there in the market. So getting all that information through the Farmer Chat on one side, and then Farmer Chat partners where not just the farmer can get this information, but also can show an interest. And this interest of buying can be seen on the farmer chat partners, the FPOs can have that visibility. Uh, when we were on farmer chat, this is, you can see the typo, the GIF is visible. So this is one of the how a farmer can ask. It's sort of similar to a chat GPT or an topic of for farmers, where a farmer can go, can give the complete the profile, very basic, and then there are starter prompts, the queries that the farmers can ask, that is customized based on their location, their crop, or the prevalent crop. They can just click and the query is sent and they get the response. They can ask the question in a multimodal, multilingual way, voice, or you take the image uh, in the native language, and they can also, if they want to listen to the response rather than read, they can also uh, get that, listen that result. So it is basically, it provides the advisory to the farmers in their newer language, the mode of communication that suits them best, and can also take the feedback. And Farmer Chat is not, as we're growing up, it is not just a chatbot or a chat GPT for features, that sort of a thing. There are many more features that we have added over a period of time, which is uh, the testimonials of the farmers who are also using their their feedback can come in a community radio format and a feed. Then there's a task calendar. So if the farmers are asking about a particular crop and they're asked about a particular activity, we sort of infer, or we can create a task calendar in terms of what is the season and what needs to be done on a weekly or a monthly basis. And then there are elements of gamification that we are building, which essentially provides rewards or social recognition on the how they're performing, or how much their questions are helping other farmers. So that sort of gives feedback and provide that hook for the farmers to keep engaging uh, with farmer chat. And one of the things that we have been working on, and on, is making the AI. It's not just a AI in a box, a wrapper on top of a existing GPT or that model. There are multiple models that we have to use, and one of the things that we have been working on is working on the language part. So the agriculture, when we're talking about agriculture, it's not just the local language, but it is about understanding, rural, colloquial terms, domain specific terms about agriculture. So in those dialects, what are the kind of words and what are the kind of weightage that we have to do? We need to create agents AI agents that can actually interact with external tools, like, the environmental, APIs of climate, or also the market. And then it, it has to be personalized based on, the farmer profiles, or when you're saying farmer profile, it has to be intelligent enough that this crop grown in this particular region, and what are the questions that the other farmers are asking, how can that help in providing a very contextual information that you would be facing this kind of an issue on your field too. And this AI that we have been working on is getting smarter. There's a huge amount of backend work that we do on, evaluating so all these questions that are asked in various languages, in video, in image, or audio, or text, that is taken as a, the unique set of queries. We are able to get a very rich data, which is then given on a portal for agriculture experts to actually review, and they can suggest the corrections and, missing information. So essentially, it is giving rise to uh, a good amount of golden question answer agriculture data, and also agri vocabularies. And this is then, used to further train the models, the open source models, or the closed source models, to improve the AI. So far, uh, we have more than we have touched, I think, or more than 500K users in 6 countries. It was a month back, it was 400K. 6 weeks back, it was 300K. So this is we have just 500K users. We have catered to more than 5 million farmer queries in 6 different countries, in total of 15 languages. Uh, and what we are seeing is that there is an increasing usage in the local languages and also through audio or image based queries. So 45% of the queries that we are getting now are in voice and image. This is stark contrast from 1 year back. It was around 5%. So more and more farmers are actually posting images, and the images are sort of increasing from not just crop but also the livestock diseases. The initial RCT trials that we have done with independent evaluators has shown that while the traditional extension system, when we went on the video-based extension system, it reduced the cost of adoption per adoption by 10x. We have seen a further scope of, you know, another 10x reduction in cost per adoption of a practice. It is very important to understand what goes into the, what do we mean by adoption and what is the cost of adoption. So a traditional extension system would require people on ground, campaigning and working with the farmers, telling them exactly what to do and what not to. And one practice can make a huge difference. We have all been through COVID. We know that how much it takes to actually do a simple campaign of maintaining a 6 feet distance or wearing a mask or, washing our hands. The washing our hands is an important practice that we have. So when we are talking about agriculture, the practices are getting more granular in nature. It's not just about have you treated your seed with a disease resistant kind of a thing, but it is about how well have you treated. Are you applying fertilizer is not the practice. It is about are you applying it in the proper way near the roots so that it is not washed away by the rain. So while video-based extension proved to have improved, what we are seeing with AI-based advisory, with the farmers being able to access this information in their phone on their own in their own language, is leading to a drastic impact. And that impact and that uptake of the adoption is leading to a reduction of cost. So what we are seeing and the expectation with the rollout of Farmer Chat is that by in the next two couple of years, we would be reaching at $0.35. This is where we started in 2008, where the independent government studies have shown that the cost of adoption through the conventional extension system is $1.35, which w- which we were able to bring down through video-based extension by 10x to $3.5, can further be reduced to 35 cents. Uh, and now the farmer chat partners. So one end of one part of working with the FPOs is providing an app so that the farmers can ask, and it's not just about what do I buy or what do I do. It is about the trigger is mostly is about the problem that I'm facing in my field, and from there, what are the solutions, and for that solution, where do I buy or where do I get that? And this is where the farmer chat partner comes. So in the farmer chat partners, extension workers or the farmers, they can simply place the orders, or they can also place a request. So if they want to buy input anyone, who is doing farming, the first step is to buy certain. And what we are seeing is when we started working with the FPOs, all the FPOs would start the first step would be to start with the inputs, where they are able to first procure the material local, and there are other tax benefits that they're able to pass on the farmers. So the input, and then there are services, which is like financial, the government schemes that are taken away, and also the market access. So, and the next that we are planning is to also integrate government schemes, and also, you know, institutional or bigger scale buyers that for the FPOs that have matured to a level where there are large number of farmers already engaged. So the starting point happens with placing an input order from the market, and then graduating to availing the services related to government schemes and also the market. This is the Farmer Chat Partners, the FPO interface, where the FPOs and today the for those maybe who are not aware about the FPOs, I'll just give a little context that farmer producer organization is now becoming farmer producer companies, and there's a formal, the government schemes and government is trying, there's a huge push to make formalize the FPOs, and they have a governing kind of a board or a person who is actually running, and they need a visibility, so they can get this visibility, all the interactions that the farmers are having, the member farmers, they can see it on this FPO dashboard on a web interface. Typically they would have some sort of a system in a small place, and they are well read to actually operate. So here they can update their profile of the FPO, the store. They can also see the profiles of the farmers, the extension workers. They can map it to various self-help groups. And then the data about what is the demand that the farmers have in terms of products or services that they want to avail from the FPO can be seen on this particular interface. As we scaled, what we found working, on ground with the FPO is that the the FPO still struggle to digitally showcase the product, and most of the FPOs they and even working with them, it is difficult to create a catalog. So you know think of it like a store which is having 100 kind of products, fertilizer, mulching sheet or seed, and there could be pesticide or insecticide, so there are multiple kinds of stuff. But for a chatbot to be able to provide all the details about the product, about the service, you need to create a description, and that description or a structured catalog is one of the things that is they still struggle, and it is if you try to compare it with the apps that we are used to, the e-commerce or quick commerce store, where we have the details of all the product, and we can, compare and see. In this particular case, it is not managed by one single authority. It is multiple FPOs at multiple places. So it becomes very difficult to build that particular kind of catalog. This is where we are planning to come up with a catalog service, which is essentially if someone writes brand name and certain details about keywords, the AI catalog service can then create the product description that can be, and then an AI agent which is basically ingesting the profile of the FPO store and the catalog, and can route farmers' question of where to buy that or where they can find that information. So yeah, I would want to play the first demo video. Yeah, Arun, this is a demonstration of web cookware for building product description and catalog for agri products. So this is the prototype. What you go here and click on the new catalog. There are two options. Single entry or bulk code. I can upload an XLS file, or I can just enter for user product. In this particular case, I will just use single entry
So let's go ahead and enter the details. So I can enter the keywords. So in this case, let's say organic, neem oil, fungicide, and I can enter the brand name. So let's say this is Greenpeace Agro. I can select the languages. Right now, we're putting starting with English and Hindi. I can select both. Then there is right now it does text and images. I can also select the variants of the images that are required. And then I click on continue and click on generate. So once I've given the request, what it does is it searches the web for those keywords and those brand names, and whatever information is available, it retrieves that and then tries to synthesize in a format which is suitable to be consumed for any AI assistant like PharmaChat. And all this data then can be listed, and the farmers can be informed on farmer chat if there is a query regarding a particular product. It also then searches the images and enhances the existing images so that they can be published on or used on the app for better use. So the task is now complete and I can view the output. So here I see the details where I see the overview, detailed description. I can see the key benefits, technical descriptions, which tells about what is the chemical formulation. I can also look at recommended crop and dosage, and I can look at the handling information. All of these are provided with the sources, which can be used while giving the respective answer. So here I can go and look at what are the sources from where it has got all these details. I can look at the images, and these are the images that it has been able to retrieve. Now, with one click, I can just publish this on FC Partners, and this is now ready to be consumed for an AI assistant in Farmer Chat. Thanks. Yeah. Hi, so this is about the sandbox.
Right. So, yeah, before, so this is the AI catalog builder. Uh, I think it's a bit spooky to see yourself in the video, like, but, we have to, I have to record this so that, we can, because we cannot showcase the live demo, in the systems. But essentially, what it does is, the FPO interface, what we've seen is most of the FPOs are just able to enter very basic keywords like NPK, hydrogen, phosphorus, potassium, 50, 50, 50, or 20, 20, some sort of a thing, Coromandel, or some sort of a brandy. So essentially, from those learnings, we were able to see that what is required is this kind of a catalog, which will give this description, or this entire description, which can be mapped with the FPO profile and the store, is now, with publish on Farmer Chat. It will be available in the backend, and they can also, upload through an Excel. So they're already maintaining this product catalog. They might be, as low as 20 products, or they could be at as big as 1,000 products. But they can upload in a XLS, and they can just publish and create the catalog and publish it on, Farmer Chat partners. This is the second video where I just take through the sandbox where, what the flow would look like for a farmer, typically, uh, getting from advisory to knowing where to buy. Any case.
Of Farmer Chat, where we can test the prototypes and web interface. This is how the information that we have published on the using the catalog builder will be available, and this is the flow of example flow of an advisory. So here I'll go ahead and attach image. As you're seeing, most of our users are moving to image and voice based queries. So I've given a tomato some disease image. What is the issue with my crop? And it calls the agent, identifies the crop, analyzes the symptoms, and then tries to diagnose the issue. And once it has diagnosed the issue, it will generate the advisory, very similar to what happens in Farmer Chat app. And it also then retrieves similar images for reference so that the farmer can make an informed decision. So here I've got the response which says that it seems like this, these are the symptoms, these are the causes, this is how you manage, these are the similar images. And then I'll go ahead and probably ask about the remedies. Hi, can you tell me about the remedies? Then it tries to understand the intent of the question, and then it is taking, the chat history that I have asked about the tomato, and I've asked about leaf blight, and then it tries to generate the what are the possible treatment plan. Uh, and in this case, it uh, comes up with the example of, that applies this fungicide, and these are the weather related issues that can, that actually accentuates. Next, I say that I want to basically buy organic neem oil. I want to buy neem oil organic. Can you tell me where I can buy it? Now, it now searches, and this is where the catalog, the entry that we have made about the organic fungicide and the store information. So it gives back this particular green piece and Margot, the product description that we have created. And this is the FPC, which is near to my area, where the location is set somewhere in Bihar, and I get the details of that store as well. So now I can go and contact the store, and the store can fulfill my request.
So essentially, what we are trying to and see the evolution is that farmer who are onboarded, who are on Farmer Chat, were seeing the impact not just above, and that is where the start of the presentation, that market access is not just a financial transaction. It's an entire journey of when the farmer is trying to sell the produce. It's growing the produce from pit, and Farmer Chat can act as a gateway where all the digitized. So this tool can not just be used by the FPOs, but by other rural stores or anyone who is operating. They create their own, digitized catalog, publish it, and with the information on, the lat law essentially, and probably the contact details. And this will be available on Farmer Chat, and Farmer Chat can act as a gateway uh, to enable your access and giving the information to the farmers on demand about where they can avail these services. And that can lead to also for these stores and the farmers to become aware about, the agri suppliers who are providing those, who are the manufacturers of those inputs. So what we are seeing is, you know, digitalizing offline stores can lead to uh, rich farmer interactions, which can provide a lot of better and data insights, not just for the stores but also for the vast, the bigger agriculture ecosystem, and that can lead to much more informed decisions about fulfilling and that the farmer demands, which can help digitalize the stores further. So we are seeing the early evidence of setting this flywheel in motion with Farmer Chat and Farmer Chat Partner. And we hope that this accelerates this kind of learning. And this, I would end the presentation with this, one of the testimonials from actual farmers, Sunita, on how Farmer Chat helped in identifying one of the very critical disease that can actually damage the crop, and how step by step, and it's not just one thing about just apply this, but it is also first diagnose it, take out the plant, look at the characteristic. The fruit is like this. So probably either apply a nutrient or spray something. And she could do it step by step and saved the, the crop, without which the market access would not be possible. With that, I'd love to open for any questions, reflections. Would love to answer for. Thanks. Yeah. Do you want to maybe you want to yeah.
Thank you so much. Very poor, very nice species to learn. It's appreciate you sharing the challenges and sharing how we see topic is species of sort of right. Is there a particular challenge or so perhaps a systemic level or otherwise, thank you so much. That you would aspire to solve in the solution, not in the near term, but let's say 5 years down the line.
Uh yeah. I definitely there are. I would say there are multiple levels. I think the biggest thing is from my end, I would let one of my colleagues from the studio, who I can say Nidhi, who is our country director and CEO of the Studio Trust. Uh, so I think the main thing on the agriculture is about climate regulator, and that remains the biggest variable today as well for especially smaller farmers. Having a knowledge base that what is, so what we're seeing is that mm, you know the window of planting a crop is not just what is mentioned in a PDF or documents that is get. It's variable, and it is becoming variable day by day, year on year, and a season with season. So what's actually happening on ground, and what is the kind of preventive measures that they have to take. So there is an environmental plus also this data insight that we're able to get. That would be one. And second, I would say linking with the kind of government schemes. Uh, so we are starting to work with Haddarshak on that with a so it is it is not just about knowing what scheme it is, but what kind of, whether I'm applicable, how to apply, where to apply. All of these remain real challenges. It's not just easy for people like us to understand which health scheme I need to buy. So forget about the farmers on the large scale. And I think third would be more of a collective data insights, which can give early warnings on prevalent diseases, that outbreak of pests. Like we all know about locust thing that started, I think, in Sudan or Somalia, Ethiopia, and traveled entire desert, came to India, and then Indians came to know. I was in Ethiopia 6 months back, and that was the news. So, so, so having that kind of a global kind of a scale is very important, because this is not just those kind of uh, outbreak are not limited by originated boundaries. So I think these three, I would say, would be most important in terms of a systemic layer of change.
Yeah, how do you control the risk of the prescription or the treatment plan or being appropriate? And the second question is, does it work? I mean, the recommendations are only, it's a, I mean, does it work in chemicals and other stuff, which probably ideally to second order effects,
Yeah.
which are not desirable.
Yeah, that's where we are meticulously or analyzing each and every question. Uh, we have not presented that particular portal where there's a tool where we see questions, the response that was given, and the agriculture expert can mark out which is incorrect, which is irrelevant, and what is missing. And then they can also analyze or see which response, we can generate responses from different pipelines and documents and stuff. And they can analyze and say which one is better. So that is all feeding the food. And that's where we say that, the AI right now is there, but it is a starting point, it's not the end point. And it needs to continually evolve. And they can also see the images. So we have captured more than 180,000 images so far that have come to Farmer Chat. And these are real images from the real devices in low lighting conditions and so on, which where whatever was diagnosed and the treatment plan, the set of APIs are actually analyzing and telling that this is right or not. And around 40-50% of the images, we have not been able to identify as well the issues. So they are also trying to say that this is the crop and this is the description, why this particular crop and what is the kind of an issue for images where the AI is failing. So those kind of details would then plug back into the Farmer Chat. But I guess there is a bigger thing about leaking, and that's where the open source stuff and probably the part earlier would come into picture, like creating this entire knowledge base as a public good where others can further do, because this is the set of agriculture experts that we have been working. But we are also partnering with CGIR and National Agriculture Research Institutes, where they are keen to actually provide those kind of inputs and provide those experts as well. So I think it has to be a collective effort, uh, starting with the set of data that we have been able to. But yeah, the risk remains. The method of overcoming the risk is bit long drawn process of evaluating and improving the advisory that was.
Thank you, Vineet. My name is Rashmi, and just to take forward what you just mentioned about, like you started the discussion saying that farmer extension services do not, do enough services. I mean, they do services, but Farmer Chat is trying to fill a large gap. How do you see the future of this tool evolving? Because um, I can see that this tool can quickly grow. As you pointed out, the growth of the users have been quite fast. So the conventional extension services might stop doing this or adopt Farmer Chat into their businesses. That would be ideal so that, they have a lot of knowledge they bring in. They can plug that knowledge. Their usage could improve the AI ML evolution. But what is the future looking like? Because data has to continue feeding and plugging into the services, and it also has to be maintained by someone. And the diversity of the information, the ownership responsibility, because it has a direct implication on smallholder farmers. And if it goes well, well taken care, you can see that many of the problems where technology, research, data, and everything can bring services to smallholder farmers and it can continue sustainably. Otherwise, there seems to be a big danger if it's left high and dry. Who will bend the cat and how long is what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I mean that's a thing that we have to also see in future how it evolves. But what we are seeing as early signals, it's not. In fact, we started 2 years back when 2.5 years back now, where we were moving from, we were operating all these bots and everything, but with, the advancement in the GPT and all that, we was able to see that there is this kind of natural language interface that can bring about the change. But we started with the aim to go to the extension workers who can then answer the farming queries. That was our hypothesis 2.5 years back. And when we went on the ground, the extension workers actually said that no, this is best in the hands of the farmers itself. So right now, our 5% of the users are extension workers, 95% are not farmers. So we started with a go to market kind of a strategy of going to the extension worker. And the extension system has, at least in India, it has the extension workers are right now more involved in telling the farmers about where collecting the documents and telling them that you are applying for availing a particular scheme and everything. It's not just very simple process. If you have availed it in last 3 years, so some of those would have a lot of ifs and ifs and buts. So that is their main work right now, and they are seeing that most of the households have at least one smartphone. Data is cheap. They're already consuming information through YouTube, through various apps, and they're circulating to the farmers. Now, to your point on life, high end rent, I think the earlier point of, the second order effect, I think one is continuously reviewing it and having a collective kind of a thing, not just at a state level or a national level, but also at a global level. The other is also the most important, I think, what we are seeing is, farmers giving that feedback. So what works for me and what doesn't cook is an important feedback, right? So uh, you know, it is a natural kind of a thing if we do a retro of how we have been using these digital apps. Probably we went to a e-commerce store the first time and we came out. Next time we probably ordered something and saw that, okay, this is working. The quality is good. Next we started seeing the reviews and ratings, right? And that, I think the feedback from the farmers would be, or the users would be I think the biggest test, to litmus test of what is working and what is not working. Apart from the existing agriculture researchers or agri experts who would provide that first the supply of that information, they value. So those are the two levers that we are seeing that emerge out, and there's a lot of interest in both sides. Like farmers are, if we are telling them that this helps your community in a wider way, that gamification that is leading to actually sort of provide them that cook to actually give those kind of inputs that this worked or this is what happened to with me, and this particular this was the issue, this is how I did, and this is how I'm able to. So those testimonials, those feedbacks, those user farmer stories are going to be very, very critical uh, in sort of creating that diabetes.
Like, okay, so does the system allow localization of package of practices? So if a customer or a program decides that these are the set of package of practices we need to follow, does this allow that localization of those package of practices?
Oh yes. Yeah.
Can the user or the set of users or
Yeah.
the FPO can define?
FPO can also define, but we are also partnering with state agencies that we have been working with. Like in Poisha, we have used agriculture set of practices. In Ethiopia, we have from the ministry that they want this approved set of practices to also be there. In AP, the ROISs. And in fact, a lot of those practices are also there in the open domain. So we can ingest, we have ingested the videos, uh, and there's also subtypes, a kind of, stress on these kind of a school of agriculture, like regenerative and natural farming. That is also an important factor. So that can very well be, ingested. And the catalog feature that we showed here was primarily for the FP, which is like description and providing all the details about, what is the dosage, what is the technical description. But there is an entire agriculture practice that we have curated from open source, openly available data, or also with working with our partners and can be.
Yeah. Hi, Vineet.
So you spoke about the hook that the users have when you spoke about the gamification in the app. I just wanted to go slightly before that. When these users discover this particular app or this tool, so if you can throw some light on the cost of acquisition of these users or challenges in acquiring these users, given that smartphone penetration in rural areas is probably still low, is on the rise, but it's still low. So if you can throw some light on that.
Okay. Yeah. So cost of acquisition for us, um, yeah, maybe I can't give that number straight away, but I think our approach has been we are changing our we started with our go to market on through the extension network. So we have been working with the state extension system like GB5 or Innovation or AT. I mean, we have that kind of relationship where they know that is to be for last 50, 70 years. So they have been sort of champions on circulating this on WhatsApp groups to the farmers. So the cost of acquisition becomes a big difficult in that physical languages, physical kind of a system. But we are also now seeing this traction. We are going to have also more of digital onboarding and digital, and probably maybe in a conference or talk 3 months or 4 months later, we can have a very defined set of number for the digital cost of acquisition for the farmers. But yeah, your point is that smartphone penetration is not high. It has changed from 2008 where we started. Right now, we are seeing that every household has. Sometimes the kids are telling their parents that you don't know, you are just following this. So kids are going to schools, they are knowing, and they are dead. So someone, and they have been there on these apps like WhatsApp or Facebook or YouTube, for quite some time. Right. So these channels are becoming very important, I would say. But in short, the cost of acquisition of of user would be probably be a better discussion in few months down the road.
Hi, Vineet. Thank you for the nice presentation. So, we all know that prevention is better than cure. So, the testimonials and others you presented here then mostly on the curative side that people are happy that they could set the growth from their diseases. But what perspectives and how this your system is prepared for preventive measures rather than going towards the curative? We know that we can solve a lot of problem where we give the information on time or before the digital any outlets, etc.
So the system can answer, and that's a problem with the AI as in general. If you ask it, it will give an answer. But our through the task calendar and what traditionally the exception system and what we are seeing is that the prevention is going to be way more important. And a lot of times the farmers are not even aware that they get prevented. They have it in their mind that in this season I have to spend 4,000 rupees on this particular chemical at this particular point of time. Just straight. Every season they're doing that without realizing it. That is where it goes to the heart of the thing. That if you're following the proper agricultural practices suitable for that particular crop, suitable for that particular climate, so the incident of a disease or so you're minimizing the losses, minimizing the risk of losses if you are following that. And that is where those practices come into, and that is where we are our north star is how many farmers have actually adopted a practice. So that 67% increase in the adoption in the the early studies that we have been doing is from our survey we found that 67% are saying that once they have taken a advice and actually adopted on ground and seen a progress. Now, as we grow, I think our evaluation would also encompass what that led to in terms of, but that is an estimate, of what happened previous years versus what happened this year and what it leads to in saving the cost that they are accruing. But the system is designed to provide, the nudges, the notifications, and alerts throughout the season about how to prevent, if there is a incident, how to diagnose, how to treat, and how to minimize the impact, right, of any kind of pest or disease.
And for this, we need to have long-term data availability for decision. Based upon some decisions, they have to be.
Yes, yes. So we are, and that's why we are. I think the collaboration with the agriculture research organizations is very important. So in Ethiopia, for instance, they have a fertilizer recommendation model that they are, integrated. We are working on yield prediction models that have been developed in Kenya, and also the wheat rust incident. So there, the problem happens is you have like more than 300 types of crops, and then you have varieties, and then you have different places. So it's not the same field in Punjab and MP. You need to grow it over.
Just one more question.
Hi, thank you for the presentation. My question is more from a strategic perspective. I was at a conference about a month ago and I heard about this open agricultural network. It seems like there's some degree of overlap, and there are a lot of players that are solving for things similar to this in their own silos, like Design AI, Plantix, and other parts of what you're doing. Everyone seems to be kind of reinventing the wheel in their own pockets instead of collaborating. What's your view, like, in terms of public-private partnerships? Like, are you finding good synergies with the rest of the ecosystem? Is everyone just keeping their head down and competing? What's the path forward? Because the farmer seems to not really be getting the value that they deserve to.
Yeah, I mean, we have constantly agriculture. We are working with Open Agri Network as well, and that's the idea. The knowledge. So I think one of the key points of creating that OAN network is that this knowledge is something that should not remain within our system. In fact, the videos that Digital Green has created over the last 18 years, they are all available on YouTube as publicly available, and anyone can use. And that is where we see that apart from the 85 million plus views that we have seen on YouTube over the last 15 years has happened on its own. The views that are happening with our government partners is separate. So the video extension is totally different versus the YouTube. And I think that's the kind of signal that it is giving, that this information that we are developing is something that will require to pull in resources on personal front, like different tech experts from different regions to be able to vet the answers, and that responses or that knowledge base that is derived out of it is available for anyone and everyone to actually consume. And that's the idea of that you go in as well. No, I don't think I'm the expert to say whether this will work out and what is the PFT model. But I think it is. I think it is. The signals are quite promising, and this particular domain of when you're talking about agriculture itself, it is so complex. You're not talking about one just understanding human anatomy is difficult. You're talking about multiple kinds of stuff. So I think that is the need, and that is the way to go. We are, as Digital Week, we definitely want to open source the knowledge that is coming out and insights about what is the demand, what are the kind of question that people are asking in these kind of locations, and that can be used across through the OAN network for different service deliveries.